So we're live. This is Monday, February 4th. And I want to say good afternoon. Thanks for being here. Yes, Iowa has their caucus tonight, and I'm so thankful that we have one person on our team that has done what Larry has asked us to do. She has gotten involved, and she is working as the secretary of her precinct, and I am very proud of Linda. Oh, I forgot to turn the volume off my phone. I'm very proud of Linda and what she's doing, and I'm very grateful. Thank you, Linda, for doing that. Thank you for being, stepping up to the plate to do what Larry has asked us to do. And I'm very grateful for that. So congratulations to Linda for doing taking the action that we need each one of us to participate in. Thanks. I have good news. This is not going to be a long show unless you make it so. Ellie will not be with us today. Please say a prayer for her. She has dental surgery in an sorry, I got a frog in my throat. She has dental surgery in an hour. So be praying for her that she will come through this well and that she will heal quickly. So that is a definite need for prayer. She plans to be back tomorrow if her mouth isn't too badly packed with gauze. If she can, she should be able to speak cautiously tomorrow. So I don't know how soon Larry will be back, but the good news and the update is I woke up this morning and I have not been able to get much done until about an hour ago. I finally was able to kick it into gear and work as fast as I could to make up for what I didn't do all morning. All I could do this morning was sit and pray for Larry and our president and our country. And I got a text message from Mark an hour ago. And Larry is up. I have no idea what his condition is. He does not have his phone. And so without his phone, he can't contact us and let us know his own update now that he's awake and up. But that is, I agree with Big Boy, that is cheers. I know you were cheering for Linda, but I'm cheering for Larry that he is on the mend. And he will be back. I'm sure that there is nothing anybody there can do to stop him from being back as long as he is awake and able to talk. I can imagine that with what he's been through, it'll take him some days to recover enough to be able to talk with us. Last time he went through some of what he's been through, not with the flu, but when he's had pneumonia before and when he was struggling with some of the treatment that he's had, his throat was so raw and it was very difficult for him to even whisper, and it took time. Don Huffman, anytime nowadays when you go to the doctor's office, one of the questions they will ask is, do you have a firearm in your house? And the doctors have the option of reporting you. That they're keeping records, and the government can access their records, and the government can report you if they think you are not a safe person to own a gun. So you are allowed still, as far as I know, depending on what state you're in, you are, as far as I know, still allowed to say, that's my personal business, and I don't think you need to know that. But, they will also mark that in your record, and they will say that, you were uncooperative about it. So how you answer is your business. I am not going to tell you what to do, but you might just be silly and say, I make fire in my fireplace or something dumb like that, but and then just chuckle and say, well, let's move on to what's important and why I'm here. But I'm being facetious, and I really don't intend to be giving you any kind of advice. But it's something you're going to have to decide. But folks, be prepared. This is something that the medical policy has decided they are going to do, and it's been happening. I haven't been to the doctor in a couple of years, but yeah, the last time I went, they asked. So it's been something they've been doing for quite a while. And if your doctor hasn't, then maybe you have a good relationship and they didn't feel the need, but they're certainly, I'm sure, being pressured more and more to do it. So, hey, Larry Simpson, man, we haven't seen your name in a long time. Glad to have you back. Glad to see your name in there. Miss you very badly. And for those of you that I wish I could talk to, the conference call is about the only way I could connect anymore because of all that I'm trying to get done. So Larry's good news is he is up. Now, whether he has access because of where he is, I don't know where he is. Whether he has the ability to get in front of a TV or not, I don't know. So I don't know what he has seen. As far as I know, he has slept through this entire Senate hearing, and he was not even able to see the inauguration. Folks, remember, was it a week and a half ago, or was it 2.5 weeks ago? I've kind of lost track. That Friday, when he almost was in tears, promising us that he will fight to his dying breath to save this country from the communism that they are trying to take us over with. He has done that, and he pushed himself so far to the wall, so far to his limit, so far beyond his limit. That's the fighter he is, that he ended up getting this sick, and it laid him low. And so, as far as I know, I won't know for sure until I hear from him. But he, I would imagine, has not been able to see any of this. And it's just like when he pushed himself to help President Trump win and pushed us to contact the Electoral College to make sure they didn't vote him out through the Electoral College, that the electors kept their word and stuck with it. I mean, Larry, back in the day, you like my painted shirt here? I'm just covered with paint everywhere. Larry, back in the day, was on a phone call where he was telling people about how things worked. And he said, if you are an elector and you're willing to switch your vote to the Democrat, if you're a Republican willing to switch your vote to a Democrat, I'll pay you $5,000. He got a phone call. He paid the guy the money. The guy flipped his vote. It's very easy to buy people. And it's amazing how cheaply people can be bought. I know $5,000 to most of us is a lot of money. But when you consider we're talking about money coming from millionaires and billionaires, $5,000 is next to nothing. And somebody being bought for that little, I will say that little amount of money, is shocking. And when I think of Norma McCorvey, God rest her soul, she's with the Lord now, but her being used by lawyers to bring in Roe versus Wade. She was the Roe of Roe versus Wade. She was a drug addicted, pregnant, single woman, and probably losing her home. She didn't even abort her baby after Roe versus Wade passed. She kept her baby. She adopted. She had her baby, and the baby was adopted out. I know she didn't get much for what she did, and look at the damage that was done. So these people who are willing to sell out for a little bit of money, and the damage it does to our country is really, really, really bad. Are you talking about Larry's bravery, Scott? Yeah. The things that Larry has done are just absolutely incredible. And, Bloomberg has more money than Trump. And so he's doing the same thing that Trump did. And he's not beholden to anybody. He can do what he wants. But he is very much a Democrat and very much wants the communism that the Democrats are pushing. And he very much wants to be their little stooge in the White House to lead. He'll be the dictator. So, Scott, I'd love to have you tell us how you found some of these old videos of the things that Larry has done. I mean, I know Clinton Chronicles is still there. No matter, you're right, Scott, no matter what the party is, so many of the Republicans don't want Trump to stay in office. So they are, keeping him in office. It'll be interesting to see how they vote. We know that, Susan Collins and Mitt Romney were elected in 2018. And so they've got another 5 years. They're in. So they're not going to pay a penalty unless their states recall them. And the chances of that, when they, how do you expect somebody to recall if they voted you in? So I'm sure they're very arrogant, and it's pretty ridiculous. Anyhow, I don't know how many of you listened to the hearings today. I did not. I was on the phone with people when the Republicans were, or when Trump's team was talking. I saw Cipollone, I think his name was. I saw him speaking, but I wasn't able to hear what he was saying because I had the volume off so I could be on the calls that I had. But listening to the House managers is just horrifying at how so much of what they're saying is what they did. Don't forget that. Larry has told us that over and over again. They reveal themselves with every accusation. They are telling you what they have done. Remember that. They're telling you what they have done. Larry's Memorial Day from 2016 on Leading Edge Radio was incredible. And you need to listen to July 3rd, 2016 on Leading Edge Radio. Though that was his patriotic speech that he gives for Memorial Day and July 4th are phenomenal. So thanks, Larry, for sharing that. I'm just going to briefly go through a few things, and I'd invite you at 9 o'clock to join the conference call tonight, and let's have prayer that Larry will, fully recover. And let's also be praying for and making calls to the Senate leaders that they will do the right thing in their vote. So I spent several hours in prayer this morning, and so I was thinking about having people, if anybody wanted to pray, I was going to have you call into the conference call line and, put you on speakerphone, but I need to get on with some things I need to get done. So I will just very quickly remind everybody that nicholslive.com, the website, has the merchandise page where you can get the Never Socialism bumper sticker, where you can buy Larry's autobiography, 28 Years to Nowhere, where you can get the t-shirt. And I haven't gotten the price from Mark yet. We've all been so worried about Larry that we haven't talked about details like this, but Never Socialism t-shirt, you can get it with or without it saying Nichols Army. We can get it in long sleeve. I was wanting to order one, and I just, my head's been spinning. So AJ, great improvement with Larry. He is awake. He is, as far as I know, out of bed as of today. So this is incredibly good news. I'm just checking everything else. Yeah. So Larry's PayPal, nicholslive@aol.com. Anything you can donate would be greatly appreciated. Larry's got a couple friends in town who have helped him to get medications and have run up quite a bill. And one friend has no way to make his rent this month because he helped Larry. Another one is he's in a similar dire straits. We've got a couple guys there that really need the help. When Larry has gotten the money in his PayPal, he has just given them funds to help get his meds. And anyhow, when he's been out of commission, he hasn't been able to do that. So he's gotten the meds without the being able to pay for it. So yes, Julie, July 3rd, 2016. He did it the day before July 4th, because I can't remember if we actually got together on the 4th. And look at what Scott or what Larry said up above. Larry Simpson said it was Leading Edge Radio Network has it. Rush Limbaugh found out he has lung cancer. Yeah, let's be praying for him as well. Thank you, Val, for that update. And keep praying for Larry that he will have full recovery. I certainly look forward to his getting his phone back, and it's been rough not to have heard a thing. And I've shared with you any little nuggets of news that I get in a one-liner. About every 3-4 days I've gotten one-liners at least. I have known that he was still alive just because I just had that instinct. And about a couple hours ago, suddenly I had a release in my spirit of that the worst. I just kind of felt like the worst was behind us. I'm looking forward to Larry recovering completely so he can be back. The Republicans who are involved, don't forget Adam Schiff has been caught with money from Burisma as well. Mitt Romney's son. I don't know if he was on Burisma's board, but another similar thing. And I have heard a rumor, Val, that Romney is being recalled by the people of Utah. I hope that is true. I hope that is true. I hope that's just not a rumor that's flying around. I really do hope that will happen, because that's what needs to happen, and he needs to straighten up. So anyhow, God says, be sure your sins will find you out. And I wanted to tell you about yesterday with the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't know how many of you are aware of the prophecy of Bob Jones. Bob Jones was the man who started Bob Jones University, a very conservative Christian university. I think it's in North Carolina. I've been there. I took my daughter there to see. They have the best Christian art museum dedicated just to Christian art in the world. And so we went, and I was able to, I put my nose about this close to the Rembrandt head of Christ. I was shocked. The head of Christ is only about 16 inches square at the most. It might even be a little smaller than that. They didn't like me getting, 4 inches away. I was just looking at the varnish and the paint colors underneath and the numbers of layers of different colors to create the skin tone and stuff. It was really fascinating. Anyhow, Bob Jones. Bob Jones also had the gift of prophecy, and he prophesied that when the Kansas City Chiefs win the Super Bowl, revival is coming. And there have been quite a few prophets who have declared that 2020 is going to bring a revival. Speaking of revival, I want to say, please be praying not just for Larry, not just for Ellie and her surgery today, not just for Rush Limbaugh and his fight against cancer, but let's be praying for the Christians and the pastors in China with what President Xi is doing to shut down the churches, the house churches, the need to register. They are again saying it is illegal for anyone under the age of 18 to go to any worship service. They are arresting pastors again. They are taking steeples down. They are rewriting the Bible to be pro-communist. They are forcing the churches to take any religious art off the walls and replace it with President Xi's picture. The house churches are being made illegal and stopped, and so we've got another purge coming in China. We need to be praying for our brothers and sisters in Christ there. And then, of course, you know, it was I saw an interesting, I can't remember who, I was scrolling through and wasn't paying attention to who posted this on Facebook this morning, but somebody was saying, look at what's going on with the swine flu and the death of so many pigs with this coronavirus, and look at what she is doing. You know, it was interesting to watch when the house churches had freedom to worship. God was blessing China financially in an immense way. And now look what's happening. The more they clamp down on the church, the harder things are getting there. Yes, I know they do fear a generation of Timothys popping up. They don't want the young people to know, because the young people look at what happened in Hong Kong, you know. Pray for Field McConnell in prison. I haven't heard that, Val. Thanks for sharing. You know, there have been bits and pieces of revival in different places. Was it a couple years ago? They had one in southern West Virginia among the students, the high school students, with what was going on. Oh, good. His Memorial Day program, Larry's Memorial Day program, is on Larry Nichols Live. So the channel Larry Nichols Live. So anyhow, one of the other things I wanted to say with the Kansas City Chiefs winning, don't forget February 2nd. February 2nd was the palindrome, 02/02/2020. And of course, in the reverse of that is, again, when you do it backwards, 02/02/2020. And February 2nd was the 33rd day of the year. And because this is a leap year, we had 333 days left, which seems like a significant number. So very significant among the Freemasons. So maybe that's just a warning to them. Hey, it's coming. So everything that they're trying to do, you know, God's given us a little more time. So I would strongly recommend that you do whatever you need to do to make yourself ready to meet the Lord. We don't know when our days are ended, and we don't know how soon Jesus returns for us, but many people are saying it's very soon. So anyhow, I guess that is a wrap. I'm going to be done now. I'm going to get back to what I need to get doing. And thank you for your prayers. Thanks for praying for me that I get this work finished up this week. I'm way behind the 8 ball in where I had intended to be, but I'm trying to work as fast as I can to get there. So thanks for your prayers for all of us, and thanks for being here. God bless you, and we will talk. I will talk to you tomorrow. Ellie expects to be with us if Larry is not back. I don't think he'll be back tomorrow, not with what he's been through, but knowing him, he will fight to be back as fast as he can get back to the phone. The conference call is at 6 Pacific, which is 9 Eastern and 8 Central. So we'll be having prayer for all of the above that I mentioned. So you know, in times of persecution, the church very often does grow. And, you know, the Chinese church has been very concerned about how little persecution we have experienced in this country for that very reason, and how soft we are and unwilling to stand strong. We were so compromised. The Chinese church is very worried about us. So we absolutely do need revival, and I am praying for it. I spent a lot of time this morning praying for that and praying that Larry will be very much a part of that. His story of forgiveness, his story of going from the scumbag to saved and forgiven is a story that we have not adequately heard. I have not adequately heard, and I think it's a story that needs to be told. So anyhow, thanks, folks. God bless you. And I'm reading through the book of Acts, so if anybody wants to join me, feel free to do that. I think this is a perfect year to be reading through that book because, with revival coming, it was just really exciting to read the first 5 chapters of Acts this morning and what happened in Jerusalem when the Holy Spirit fell with fire. So thanks, folks. God bless you, and talk to any of you that can manage to be with us. Linda, stay safe. We thank you again for what you're doing. God bless you all. Talk tomorrow. Bye.